Soudcloud-Skyzone.Society.
Yo, what's going on, my peoples out there in the zone land? It's your boy Big V. You're now tuning into the Zone Sports Podcast. You know what I mean? I'm one half for the host. They got my boy over there. You know what I mean? For my people that can see us on the YouTube, what's going on, my guy?
What's up, man? It's your boy Corey, aka Cool C, aka COO. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, we've been doing good, man. I hope you had a good week, man. My week's all right. Can't complain. Just
I was
trying to make
things. To ask you how your week was, man.
Man, it's all right, man. I just got off the phone with Tim Tebow.
Did you?
Yeah, I got with him. I told him to keep his guards up, man. He all right. He good.
Hey, look,
Tim good.
Hey, look, man. Before we get into all the Tim business, man, you know what I mean. Listen, man. Make sure y'all shopping at SkyZone.Society.BigCartel.com for all your tees, your hats, your sweats. You know what I mean. Your candles. We got some for everybody, small to 6X. We got y'all covered, baby. Worldwide shipping. You know what I mean. Now, boy.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. Well,
what we talking about today?
My week, my week was good, you know what I mean, full of laughter and joy, you know what I mean. And speaking of laughter, let's jump right into some funny shit, you know what I mean?
Funny.
Yeah. Let's jump right into some funny shit.
Funny.
If you've been on the right, ladies and gentlemen, throughout
comedy
this
show
week, you know what I mean?
Wait, what we talking about?
Let me start from the top here. You know what I'm saying?
What?
I remember a couple weeks ago, my podcast host over there, she tried to start out this podcast going Tebow, to the point y'all remember I walked off the set, right? And that was when Tebow was getting his new introduction to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to announce his departure from the Jacksonville Jaguars before the season even starts.
This is ridiculous.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am laughing because, listen, I told Corey, I said, listen, man, this is a mistake. What is he doing? Cut it out. So when I get the news, ladies and gentlemen, I immediately bust out in the laughter.
That ain't right. It's not right. That's not right. Hey, Tim, I'm riding.
Oh my God. And ladies and gentlemen, that is my take on Timothy Tebow getting dropped from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow. Corey, what do you say?
First of all, anytime we talk about Mr. Timothy Tebow, I know you did it, but I got to do it for myself. Tebow. Man, look, I think it is ridiculous that he got cut.
Why so, man? Why so?
It's 100. I'm yelling again. I'm sorry. I don't know why I yell at the beginning of these podcasts for the past couple of weeks.
It's no need to yell when I told you that this was a mistake to begin with. It is no need to yell when he had no business out there. No way.
It's an atrocity that he got cut, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you exactly why. I can hear the zoners right now and cats on SoundCloud and wherever you listen to.
They're laughing with me.
Like they're like, yo, see, what are you like? What are you talking about? I'm gonna tell you exactly. It is utter BS that he got cut. And I'm going to tell you why, and I'm not going to stall any longer.
Okay.
The reason why he should not have gotten cut is because he shouldn't have been in a position to get cut. Whoa, what do you mean by that? He shouldn't have even been at the damn tryouts, bro. He should not have been at the yo. And then your boy, Urban Meyer, Herb is what I call him. Your boy, Herb, had a little press conference today talking about Mr. Timothy Tebow.
Oh, word, I missed that. What happened?
Yeah, don't worry, I caught it. I'm going to give you the gist of it because he's not really a man of words too much. Yes, well, and I'm doing my Urban Meyer. Well, he's 34 years old. 34 years old. Whoa, time out. Talking about. So Herb, as I call him, you didn't know he was 33 going on 34 before the start of camp? You didn't know that this man was never a tight end at all, period. Look, man, I am, between my wife and my wife is good with money with the household. She is like phenomenal. Um, phenomenal as well. But she delegates a lot of the money and how it flows and what we need to save up for and do this, that, and the third. She defers that to me, right? And I'm good at that because I've been doing that for a while. And I learned by trial and error how to budget money, how to save money, when to spend money, when to hold on to money. So the point I'm getting at, Big V, is that if you was to ask me to be an accountant for Wells Fargo, well, I don't have any banking account experiences. Because Big V, when you start talking about doing accounting for your home versus accounting from a business standpoint, you have to be well versed. You have to have experience in, I'll say, maybe taxes, how you defer 401k to your employees, so forth and so forth, tax deductions, tax cuts, tax breaks, tax incentives, all that stuff that I don't even know if I'm even describing that right. Back to Timothy. Timothy of the Zone Land has never been a tight end. And we talked about this before, where I found it disrespectful, excuse me, to the tight end position. And really, the man, if I'm not mistaken, he hasn't played since 2011, 2012, give or take. And I know how I am. I'm an IT geek. And I know how I am after I take a vacation, a week-long vacation where it's like, woo, boy, that Monday, boy, it's like I ain't as quite as sharp as I was that Friday before I left. I still know what to do, but I need I need like 12 cups of coffee. I can need all this, that, and the third, but nothing replaces me being sharp other than being back at work. So you're asking, Tim, and I don't know who idea this was. There's a couple of trains of thoughts on this. One of them is Herb, even though he's a successful head coach without Tim Tebow, like what he did at Ohio State is ridiculous. What he did with the Utah Utes before coming to Florida. So he had all that pre-Tim Tebow. And you could argue that he really plateaued, and this is just more so my opinion, with Florida and with Tim Tebow. And so maybe Herb felt like he owed him one. He should have never, ever, because he should have never even been allowed to even come into a tight end position. If you want us to find you something on special teams, maybe. That's where a lot of other players kind of get their break, where they're kind of quote unquote that athlete. Like, when you play college football on the PlayStation, where you're trying to draft a player and he may not be designated a certain position, so they just have ATH for athlete. So he does a little bit of everything. Don't really key in on one thing well, but he can kind of do a little bit of this.
I want to stop you, man, because up until now, Corey,
yeah,
until you said that,
yeah,
I never knew what that stood for. And listen, I've been playing fucking college football games forever. Still got my college football game. Hold on. I still have these here, Corey. I still have these.
Yeah.
I still play these. Listen.
Yeah.
Listen, man. Up until now, I used to be looking at the damn screen like, what position is that?
What is that? And don't feel bad. I had to Google that myself back in 08 or 09.
Okay, good, got it.
And because I was like, well, when I'm trying to build my roster in college, I'm like, what the hell does ATH mean? I'm like, oh, it's athletes. So that really means that a lot of times these athletes are really a 2 or 3-star for all the college football nerd heads out there. He's a guy, yeah, you take, but you don't really plug him in anywhere. You may pop him here and there to see if it works. Tim Tebow, getting back to my banking analogy, was never in a position to succeed. The privilege, whether you want to argue white privilege or if you want to argue his privilege of the relationship that he had with Urban Meyer, I'm not going to get into all of that. It's a whole nother podcast as far as why that even happened. But for the sake of argument, I'm going to say, you know what, man, Herb is doing him a solid by saying, man, we don't know. You've been out the league for 45,000 years, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to do you a solid. We're going to give you tryouts. Because my thing is this. Herb in the past have at times referred to Tim Tebow as almost like his son. And I know it couldn't have been easy for Tim or Herb to come to that decision. However they came to it, whatever. I'm of the mindset of you rip the Band-Aid off. Like you don't string like Big V, you can relate. All the ladies out there can relate. Ladies in particular could probably definitely relate, where it's like you meet a dude, or in our case, you meet a woman, and it's like, gosh, she cool, but you ain't really quite look at her like that. Like it ain't that she's ugly or anything like that. It's just that it's just not quite your type from a physical standpoint. Nothing wrong with it. It's just, and she's kind of like, yeah, but or ladies, the dude's kind of like, yeah. And it's kind of like, well, they're really a nice person, but nice don't really get the fire going, if y'all know what I mean. Like, and so do you give that person a chance and say, well, you know what? I ain't really into maybe I could learn to like this situation. Or I could just be like, hey, you know what, man, I appreciate it. But, you can either lie and be like, hey, I'm seeing somebody right now. If you really want to be nice about it, like, I've done that a million times. Or, you can either just be like, hey, nah, I'm not interested. But, it's no knock. I'm just, again, I'm trying to get, it ain't you, it's me. I'm trying to get myself straight. Getting back to Tim Tebow and Herb, man, that has to be tough for both of them, because I think you just totally don't even let it get to that point, because I do feel like they have a great relationship, and for all I know, they'll still have a great one after this. But to get that foot wet, and then to be like, and somebody made a real good point on the sports shows today. I think it might have been First Take and Undisputed, where it's like, how do you let it get this far, knowing what like you knew he was 34 years old prior, and that he's not going to really be a good tight end, because there's only really two types of tight ends, and there's either your catch passing type of tight ends or your blocking tight ends. Now we know that Tim Tebow, he's a quarterback. At best, he's a quarterback. He's not really a catcher. So you can't have him being that catch receiving tight end. So maybe he can block. Well, as we saw the clips that made the rounds of the first preseason game, he's not really good at that either. If it was me, if you had to bring in Tim Tebow, he would have definitely been a special teams guy. Like this, that's the only way, because Herb got to make sure not to lose the locker room and all this stuff. That's number one. Or have him running stuff like a Taysom Hill from the Saints, where, okay, he's a gadget guy. Look, you're not taking Trevor Lawrence's spot or anything like that. But hey, if we're on the goal line, man, we could have like you line up on the outside, or even have you run in as a halfback. And you may just say, well, Corey, you just got finished saying, well, you can't just come into a position. I agree. But I looked at a lot. I know a bunch of Florida fans. And let me tell you what, on Saturdays on goal lines, he was not above running that thing in like a daggone running back. Okay. I'm not saying he needed to be a pure running back, but put him in situational plays where it's like, okay, cool. You can kind of throw something out there on the defense end where they're going to have to cover Tim Tebow, whether it's on the outside or on the inside. And then just either have it to where he either runs the ball on the inside or do like a little jump pass like he used to do back in Florida and do stuff like that. But look, just like I cannot be an accountant for Wells Fargo, he cannot be a tight end in an NFL at his age and coming into that position cold. He should not have gotten cut, because he shouldn't have even been in the daggone scenario to where he was even have a chance to make the team or not based off that. No.
I agree 1,000%. in all seriousness, I know I came on laughing about Tim Tebow, but I definitely mess with Tim Tebow's work ethic, and I can't deny his talent. But I won't sit up here and tell you that he's a tight end. He's not. He wasn't a tight end. He never
No,
been a tight end, and we
never.
said that. We said that when they first signed him. Like, yo, what are you doing? No, no, no.
Yeah,
Like at best, like you said, they should have used him as a wildcat back or special teams or a third down back if you have you, and just let him do that. Or again, use them as a disguise. You know what I mean? If you want to line Trevor Lawrence out there on some flea flicker type, you know what I mean? Trick play, little Giants type shit if you want to. Line him
yeah.
up out there and have, Tim take a snap and have him do whatever you want him to. You know what I mean? He definitely was
Agreed.
not tight end status. When you think of tight
Mm,
end, you think of guys like Jay Novacek. You think of guys like Jimmy Graham, people like
yes.
that. You don't think of Tim Tebow. No,
No.
it's almost it's yeah, man. It's almost demeaning to his legacy. And if you
It is.
and if you're gonna bring him back, you had to keep him. You knew what fucking age he was. You needed to keep him. You knew that
Facts.
already. That's not fair to Tim, man. And man, I I hope he hangs up his cleats after this. Honestly, this has to be it, Corey.
I do. And real quick, I was thinking about this today when you brought up the topic, and it's like, man, he is. You could argue that if not, he is one of the best college um, players I've ever seen.
Ever,
With the Bo
ever.
Jacksons and the
Yes.
Herschel Walkers and all of that. And I'm like, man, what the hell is this doing to his legacy, man? Like, cause I don't see Tim Tebow as an attention whore, for lack of better
Uh-huh.
words. But man, sometimes it does make you wonder, and I get it. The whole sometimes, like Jay-Z said it best, where sometimes the victory is in the try. You may not get it, like the trying to fail, to succeed in this rap game. The two things is great. Like sometimes the success is in trying. And I get that. But man, he could go on ESPN and set the college sports on fire with the SEC network and stuff like.
And
And
he's
he'll
great
get a
at
job.
it.
He'll
He's
get a
great
job.
at it,
He'll get a job.
Corey.
He'll be okay. But man, it's
I,
like what I understand the faith. I get all. I'm a Christian too. But man, gosh,
like
whew,
again, he's great at doing the SEC stuff. I love cutting on the TV during the college football season and seeing him talk college sports. I love it. Nobody knows that better than Tim Tebow, and
fact.
I hope that he continues to do those things, man.
Yeah,
Salute,
he
salute.
tried it. Yeah, he tried
Yeah,
it. Now let's move forward. Like,
yeah, 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 man. Salute to Tim Tebow, man, and yeah, we know you're gonna land on your feet, just not with the Jaguars or hopefully any NFL team. You know what I mean?
mm-mm.
Focus on what you do best now is staying in that booth and doing college sports or just talking sports, period, man. We love you, Tim
Facts.
Tebow. You know what I
Facts.
mean? But you know
I'll
who
call you. I'll call you after the podcast done, Tim. I got you.
yeah, hit him up, man. But you know who I don't love? I don't
Huh?
love Patrick Beverley. And yeah, let's jump right into it. Oh, he's jumping right into things today. Corey,
Oh,
I told you my week has been full of laughter. Full of
what?
laughter, man.
What's your beef,
Oh,
Chief?
you want me to know that? Okay. Let me slow it down for the people in the zone land. My zone is out there who might not know, and I know that's why y'all tapping through this
Yeah,
podcast.
let's get
You might
zoned out.
you might not know things, you know what I mean, or you might know things and just want to hear us talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, again, my week has been full of laughter. And if you follow me on social media, you've seen I posted the clip of me ripping the Clippers fans, the Clippers period, and especially Patrick George, pardon me, Paul George and Patrick Beverley, pardon me, of looking like two little
Oh yeah,
schoolgirls in the
yeah.
face, talking about "don't talk to me" and all that. Yeah, we all got Kawhi. Yeah, and it's funny now, and I'm gonna tell you, it's so, that moment in hindsight is so funny because it was.
Yeah, it is.
Y'all was in the casino, and now I'm speaking in specifically you now, Patrick Beverly, because you are the topic of this discussion right now. Man, I'm speaking specifically to you, how you had your hand over your face like a little schoolgirl laughing and snickering. Don't talk to me because y'all got Kawhi. And because you
Yeah.
thought, I'm guessing because you thought that you were going to be a part of not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not
Oh,
six, not
oh.
seven, not eight,
Ooh.
not nine, but maybe 10 championships, right? A couple of them at least, right? I know,
Yeah.
I know, I know. Guess what? You won't get a taste of any fucking shit with Kawhi now. Because you know why? You got your ass booted out from the Clippers organization down to Memphis. And then guess what Memphis did with him, ladies and gentlemen? Guess what the Grizzlies did?
I couldn't believe this.
They made a trade to send Patrick Beverley to the Minnesota Timberwolves for who? For who? For who? For
Oh,
who? For who? For the likes of Jared Culver and
oh,
what Wancho Hernan Gomez. And I know the zoners out there are like, who? Exact fuckingly. We don't even know who you got traded for. You know what I mean? Patrick Beverley, this shit is funny to me. Cause guess can we talk? Can we talk to you now? Can we talk to you now? Can we talk to you now?
Man, I want us to talk.
I mean, he might not, because you remember we couldn't talk to him. He told me not to talk to him, but
that is what he said.
But I just want to know, can we talk to you now since you got traded for Jared Culver and Juancho Hernan Gomez? Who the fuck is that? My guy, you got traded for not shit. And it's funny to me. It is, as a Laker fan, it is funny to me just based off that moment in time that I saw you in that casino. Yes, I'm holding a grudge. Fuck it, I'm holding a grudge. Yes, I am.
I actually forgot about that till you brought it up last week.
No, I won't forget. I
forgot about that till you brought it up last week.
Oh no, I won't forget, man. And guess what? Guess what? We may forget about you down there in Minnesota, big dog, because it looked like you got traded down there to die. You won't be winning any championships with Minnesota anytime soon. Big Cat can't get it done with you and him and whoever else. I don't even fucking know who's even on the squad like that.
I couldn't tell you. Yeah,
I know you can't. You won't be getting a chip with Kawhi. You know what I mean? Nothing of that sort. And this shit is funny to me. When I got the news, I was in the gym, Corey. I was in the gym. I was on the curl ball, actually. And bro, when I put the curl ball down and my phone went off, man, I immediately, Corey, I chuckled. I probably was turning red in the gym, looking like the Black Santa Claus himself. Man, it was hilarious as fuck to me. I promise you, Corey. Corey, what was your thoughts on this situation, man?
You know, my thoughts are, Patrick Beverley is definitely one of those players that you really don't like unless he's on your team. And so he's a guy that I've never quite bought into, but I was like, hell, if he was a Laker, I would kind of love that pit bull mentality. And I think you see what happens when your skills start to erode and you're not necessarily, and I'm not saying he's not a team player, things of that nature, but I just find it interesting because I actually thought that him going to the Grizzlies was going to be a good spot. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, the whole grind house, like those are the guys of grinders down there, just the part of the brand. I'm like, oh hell, he'll probably fit in perfect down there. And then I'm like, okay, well, he goes to Minnesota, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure that he needs to unpack his bags for Minnesota. To really be honest with you, I
wasn't gonna say it.
The thing is, and this happens with athletes, where you're good at one point, and so they'll put up with the dumb fouls and the dumb techs and you costing the team games in certain clutch scenarios and things of that nature. And they'll put up with it, but then once the talent starts to kind of dwindle down, it's kind of like, how much of this do we need? Now, getting back to Patrick Beverley directly, all that being said, I was cool with Patrick Beverley. I was cool with Patrick Beverley until he shoved Chris Paul in the back. Like a coward, like a punk. You don't do that to a man behind the back, as we said a few podcasts ago, where it's like, well, wait a minute, you make your living getting into people's heads. Now that Chris Paul gotten into yours, now you mad? As Sherman would say, you mad, bro? And I'm gonna tell you, semi-related to this, another person that needs to be careful with their attitude as their skills are starting to decline, is going to be Draymond Green. It's going to be the same exact way. He gets texts about every couple of games, it seems like, over something that has nothing to do with nothing. And I get it. The NBA, a lot of the players, they do argue with the refs, but you got to understand, big dog, that you're not in your prime anymore. And so you have to kind of adjust. Attitude here, when the skill is here, people will put up with that attitude. But now, when the skill is here, but your attitude is still here, and for the people on SoundCloud, I'm moving my hands right now. Cass is kind of like, Yeah, he's still good, but how much of this do we really need? Getting back to Patrick Beverley, I think that is exactly what you're seeing right now. Um, I, I I'm not sure how much money that he's getting or things of that nature there, but I tell you this, and maybe this is a hot take, maybe I'm overreacting, but you have to be careful because you're gonna mess around and not be in the NBA. I don't know how much longer Patrick wants to be in the NBA if he's closer to retirement or things of that nature. I don't even know how old he is, but I know that you're not there unless you want to be there. You're not on a team and taking NBA checks unless you want to play in the NBA. So I'm operating under the assumption that he still wants to play in the NBA. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know how well that's a young team over there in Minnesota with Cat and all those guys. I don't know how well he's going to gel, assuming that he even gets to unpack his bags and stay in Minnesota. So he might end up being that minimum veteran minimum wage type guy. Um, and that's fine. But I do think that with the shenanigans of what we just saw in the Western Conference Finals, like, dude, now should be a time where you sit back and reflect. And I'm not saying kill who you are altogether, because part of that ferocity makes you who you are as a player. But you do need to have a little bit, the same deal we were just talking with Schroeder last week. You still got to have at least some self-awareness of where you are skill-wise relative to other people who play your position, quote unquote, being a defense. Because he's not the defensive guy that he once was. He's still good, but he wasn't great. Patrick Beverley used to be great, and now he's good. Draymond Green used to be great. Now he's just good. Flipping it to football real quick. Richard Sherman used to be great. Now he's just good. And you even seen when Sherman was with the 49ers, you could kind of tell that he toned down. He toned down a whole lot. He wasn't a lot of those shenanigans and up in your face and all that stuff like he was in Seattle. Richard Sherman, love him or hate him, he was a real smart individual to recognize and to be self-aware. Like, hey man, I'm not LOB material anymore. So let me adjust. Let me be more of a team player. Let me do this. Let me try to get along with people and stuff like that. Patrick Beverley's gonna have to do that. He might not be in the league in the next 2 or 3 years. Maybe that's a hot take. I don't know, bro. Like,
I'm glad you you mentioned attitude and people not being in the league, because I want to jump into the next topic just based off that. Um,
mm,
you know, we're gonna jump into the documentary of the Malice at the Palace, ladies and gentlemen, of the Zone Land.
ooh,
If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. It's really really good, really well put together. For the people that don't know what Malice in the Palace is, it was the fight between the Indiana Pacers and the Detroit Pistons years ago.
mm.
I think it
Remember it like it
maybe,
was yesterday.
what was that, maybe 04, 05, something like that, maybe
Yeah,
oh
on a
06.
Friday night.
Okay. Um, it was crazy. A huge fight broke out between the two teams and the fans. Look it up for yourself. Go watch the doc again. It's on Netflix. Malice in the Palace. Um, I think it might be in the top 10 on Netflix right now.
Mm.
Yeah, I want to jump right into attitude and stuff, and talk about things. I learned a lot from this doc. I thought I knew a lot. I thought I knew everything about that night, but I learned not even just about that night. What I liked about this doc was it shed a light on just not that night, but the seasons before then and that particular season as well. That particular season, the Indiana Pacers was smoking hot, man.
Yes.
I think they said they might have had like the best record in the league, that
Could
year.
have helped get Reggie that championship.
Right. Reggie, this was after Jordan had left. Reggie had nobody standing in his way no more. This was supposed to be Reggie's year. And the
Yeah.
end up matter of fact, that particular year of the Malice wasn't the year that matter of fact that particular year wasn't the year that they went to the playoffs. I think it was the year before when they
Okay.
went and they lost to the Pistons. Then the Pistons went on to beat our Lakers that year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and the dope part, one dope part about that dot is Reggie called it. Reggie Miller said that he knew whoever won that game between them and Detroit was going to go on and win the chip.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So that's just a little foresight for you from a legend, man. And and I'm gonna get back to Reggie here in a minute, but I want to jump into just attitude and stuff like that, and just piggyback off that point. Ron Artest was a part of that Indiana Pacers organization. Then it was Jermaine O'Neal, Ron Artest, Steven Jackson, Reggie Miller, and a couple other guys. But the guys that were known for their attitudes and what they and their tenacity was Steven Jackson and some of Jermaine O'Neal, but a lot of Ron Artest.
Yeah.
And during that year where they knew that it could be their year, this was after the fact that the Pistons have just beat them in the playoffs. This is the following year. That's when the Malace and the Palace broke out. That particular game, and I didn't even know this, they were up by at least like 15 points. Ron Artest, one of the teammates of Ron Artest, went to him and said, "You can get your foul now. You can get your foul now." And for the people that don't know, Ron Artest, he was traveling with an on-site psychologist all the time, because he just wasn't right. He was going through depression. He'll be happy, then he'll be sad. So he had to have somebody there to keep him mentally sane at all times. So he gets this trigger from one of his teammates who's telling him, "Yo, you can get your foul now." And nobody on the team knew what that meant. Steven Jackson heard it. You know what I mean? I think Steven Jackson might have said, "I don't know why dude told him that. We was up by 15, game was over." So he went over and he made a hard foul on Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace, right? Yeah.
And Ben Wallace had just lost his I think his brother, if I'm not mistaken. He had just lost somebody really close to him. Like recently. And Ron Artest did that. And again, there was no need for it. And the result of that was the Malice in the Palace. Because without that foul, you don't get the fans doing what they did. You don't get the beer thrown that set everything off. You don't get that happening without Ron Artest and that foul. You get the Pacers walking off with the win, shaking hands or not. Everybody go to their respective corners. See you next time. Ron Artest is single-handedly responsible for that Malice in the Palace. Corey, again, if you play that scenario back, and again, everybody, please watch the doc. If you play that scenario back, that game is over. There's no need to foul. We're up by double digits. Let's go home. There's no need to push Ben Wallace how he did, because like you said, it was about Patrick Beverley. It was basically just senseless and cowardness, everything. Without him doing that, you get nobody throwing the beer. You get no Ben Wallace pushing him back. You get no teams clearing the bench. Nothing. So fast forward to 48 hours after that, David Stern makes some suspension. He suspended Ron Artest for the year.
Oh yeah.
As he fucking should have, dude. So my point is, yes, attitude can get you kicked the fuck out of this league. Because like you said, it's only so much that people are gonna put up with when you're not great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's only so much that being good can get overlooked, can get you overlooked for. That's it. So yeah, young people, or whoever,
attitude,
old people, check your attitudes, dude.
Carry you a long way, dude.
Attitude can get you fired, or they can get you hired. Trust me. Point blank, period.
Agreed.
And if I'm Patrick Beverley, no, I'm not unpacking my bags, because dude, this smells like you may be making or signing a veteran minimum, or you may be getting shipped out the door to somewhere else. Yeah. And I'm like you, Corey. I thought the Grizzlies would have been, and all jokes aside, I thought that would have been a great fit for him. I'm thinking him and what's the young point guard name, man?
Oh crap! Talking about Ja Morant.
Ja Morant. I'm thinking Ja Morant and the tenacity of that team, and again, and just the grindhouse that it already is, that can be a problem in the playoffs. That's what I was thinking. You know what I mean? Young up and coming guys. You know what I mean? And then he's there to guide some tutelage too. That could be a problem. Yeah. But you won't be doing anything in Minnesota, Corey. I would be looking for another trade from them in the coming up day.
Yeah. Depends on what he wants to do, whether he's really just about just getting paid at this point or whether he wants to be on a contending team. So yeah, it's up to him. With what the ball is still in his court. Like I said, and we could talk about this next week or whatever. But even with Draymond Green, where him and Kevin Durant had an interview on Bleacher Report today. And like I said, we could get deeper into this next week, where Draymond Green basically said, "Oh, it's the organization's fault why Kevin Durant left," and it's like, dude, whoa, whew, time out. Like, even whether you feel that way or not, like, dude, don't sit because you're not Klay Thompson, you're not Steph Curry. But anyway, we could get into that, next week. Now, the Malice in the Palace, I have not. I'm gonna see if I could download it because I have not seen it, but I've heard a few Jermaine O'Neal making his rounds with the interviews talking about it.
He is.
And talking about how it really affected him and blackballed and things of that nature. We got a few train of thoughts. I am in semi-agreement with you that Ron Artest did start it. You are 110% right. Where he gives that hard foul on Ben Wallace. And that's one of those games. It's like wasn't really anything special about the game.
No.
At all.
It was. I think it might have been like the 10th game of the season, 9th game of the season.
I just had my TV on, and I didn't know anything until everything just started going crazy. I was in my apartment at that time, still in college. I'm like, what in the world? And we went back and they showed how it started. Because again, that was a game that, okay, so what? It's not a big deal, like you said early in the season. When I think of the Malice in the Palace, I'm going to slightly push back where, yeah, Ron Artest is the igniter. He's the match that kind of spark it, quote unquote. When I think of the Malice in the Palace, I think of the players and the fans interacting in a violent manner. Would it have been the Malice in the Palace if it was just contained between Indiana and Detroit? Fair question. I don't think we would have a Malice in the Palace if it was just strictly contained to those teams. I think the asshole that threw the beer down to Ron Artest really started the Malice in the Palace, where you got people going crazy. You've seen the documentary. I have not. I've heard that the fans, they interviewed some fans, and they're still the result is what people are getting is that they're not taking responsibility for their actions, where some of the fans were even looking for a payday, hoping that a multimillionaire would punch them in the face, hit them, or whatever.
Well, let me clear
break it down, because you saw it and I did not.
Yeah, let me clear up that that wasn't the case. They shed a lot of light on things. Now, one of the guys that Artest punched, who was coming down the steps, he was told by security to move down, if I'm not mistaken, but to move down. Mm-hmm. And he was basically saying that he was trying to get out of the way. I don't know why in the fuck he would be trying to go down to the stands, to the court and all. Like, bro, if you're trying to get the fuck out of the way,
that ain't the way you go.
No. And just so happened was this. He wasn't coming down to start shit. Because, like, if you look at the clip, man, mm-hmm. and it was really just a misfortune by due to him, because when he turned around, was coming down the steps, he was met by a furious Ron Artest. Yeah. And Ron, you got to think, at this point in time, Ron has been hit with the beer. He has been in the stands whipping ass, trying to get fans to fuck up off him. So now he's come down. He turns to his left and sees this guy, and oh my God. And again, keep in mind, he's just been beat up by fans. He's turned to his left and seen a fan in a Pistons jersey. I mean, it was almost like an unfortunate fate for the guy, for the fan. Dude said he was trying to come down and get the fuck away from everything. He comes down and Ron Artest and him meet head on, and Ron looks at him like, and just steals off. And the funny thing about the footage is the guy looks at him and he looks scared to death. He looks like but he balled up his fist because it was almost like, oh my God, I'm scared and I don't want to get punched. And I see Ron thinking that he's gonna punch me, but I'm not here to fight. It was like he was caught in the middle of his thoughts when Ron just clocked him. You know what I mean? So after he was clocked, of course, he was in the back, then looking to see could he get paid for being clocked in the fucking head by a millionaire.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was saying like they was acting like that he had a broken neck where they wanted the neck.
Oh my goodness, man.
all
listen,
that stuff.
Man, listen. Let me tell you something. I ain't gonna lie, old boy was extra with it. He got carried out in a fucking ambulance, dude. He got punched in the face, and for some reason, he had on fucking headgear. I never seen nothing like that. Ron like punched him in the face. Then Jermaine came over there and slipped, I think, and caught him.
Yeah.
But it was no need for the headgear. He was definitely a bit extra about that. But I will say he was from what I feel, man, he just got caught in some unfortunate shit, man.
Yeah. So getting back, I do think that had the fan not thrown the beer, I don't think that would have happened. Now, that don't mean that Detroit and Indiana wouldn't have gotten into it on the court and stuff. I mean, because even though Ron Artest should not have done the hard foul, like we are in 100,000% agreement with that. I just still that don't give the fans shouldn't have thrown the bill. Like I think that's when it went extra. And Steven Jackson, he's a rider. Like Steven Jackson is a cool dude, but I'm putting my mind back into the 03-04 Steven Jackson, and I'm talking about the way he went to them stands. It looked like, oh yeah, this is what I've been waiting for my whole life.
You already, you know Steven about that life. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. He's a rider.
He throw up a couple. He used to throw up a couple of sets. You know what I mean? You know how
I believe that.
You know what I mean? Like, and the funny part about the doc too, just speaking on Steven, bro.
Yeah.
When he got the call from the Indiana organization to get signed to them,
yeah,
the nigga said he was on the block with his homies. He said Larry Bird was calling him and he was on the block. He put it on speakerphone for all the homies to hear.
Wow.
He was on the block. He was on the block.
Wow.
He said, you know me. He said Ron crazy, but he said I'm crazy. He said, me, I smoke weed all day. But Ron a different type of crazy. This was him in the league. You feel me? Like
the person out of Jermaine O'Neal, Ron Artest, and Steven Jackson, the one who I felt bad for, like if I had to like pick one, would have been Jermaine O'Neal. Because I think that even though Ron Artest, like he had like I can't remember if he had like an Adidas or a Reebok deal before all that stuff happened. He was getting ready to have another commercial or another endorsement going on. All that got zapped. Whereas like Jermaine O'Neal, he was relatively young at that time of coming in the league. I can't remember how long he was in the league, but it wasn't that long. And he pretty much got blackballed for anything where it's like, dude, the only thing, because the thing, and the reason why I say I feel bad for him, because, and I don't know him, obviously, reputation wise, but like you just said it, like Steven Jackson is about that life. Like, that, like you test him with caution. Ron Artest, his reputation precedes him, or whatever. Jermaine O'Neal didn't really seem like that type of guy unless pushed and or provoked, whatnot. And I just think that stuck with him. And I think that the whole deal, that's when the dress codes and all that started to come out with the Angel of Stern, saying we got to clean this stuff up. The whole label of thugs and all that stuff there. And it's like, look, man, that's why I say, even though Ron Artest shouldn't have fouled Ben Wallace, look, man, I don't have no problem saying this on this podcast for my job to see. Anybody, and I mean anybody, from the owner to the janitor at my job, think it's okay to throw something at me, let alone a beer? Hey, I am catching an assault charge. I am going to get fired. I don't give a damn if it's on tape. You throw something at me like that, hey, well, don't let them get under your skin. I get the whole, the art of war. Don't let the enemies know your weaknesses and all that stuff. Well, damn it, that's a weakness. Okay, you throw something at me. Okay, you throw something at me, let alone a liquid in a disrespectful, derogatory manner. Hey, I'm losing it. And I think 99.99999% people would do the same thing. You are a parent. I'm hoping to be a parent one day. But let me tell you something on a hypothetical tip. If I have a child and I say, son, daughter, what happened? Why are they sending you home? Well, such and such threw something in my face. What they threw in your face? Not even saying that really matters at that point, but I'm just curious. Oh, well, this girl threw orange juice on my face, daddy. You know what, daughter? Hey, you know what? What you did wasn't right, but it was necessary. I I I I I'm looking at it like from the standpoint of that Ron Artest. Yes, what he did to Ben Wallace was 1,000% unnecessary, and it shouldn't have been done. But it ain't like he ran into that stand unprovoked. He did not. He ran up to that scores table, laid the hell down. Some idiot, some jerk who he's actually friends with, by the way. That's weird. Or whatever. Threw the beer on him, and he came up there and ran whoever he thought did it and whooped his ass. It ain't right. It's necessary. It's tough for everybody involved. But like I said, if I had to pick one, I feel real bad for Jermaine O'Neal, because he just seems like a level-headed guy. He seems like a very articulate man. He seems like a very smart man. He seems like a very thoughtful man. In other words, he's not one like, and no disrespect to like a Steven Jackson or a Ron Artest, where it's kind of easy to push their buttons to manipulate them into doing something violent and or bad, and stuff like that. Jermaine O'Neal seems like an individual where it's like, okay, look, I'm gonna let you live, but don't do it again. You know, it's everybody's favorite slogan when someone does something bad to them. That's actually a sign of maturity. All right, man. Hey, look, hey, yo, don't do that again, man. It's gonna be a problem. And to do it again, it's a whole nother issue. Jermaine O'Neal seems like that type of guy. Like, I'm that type of guy. It's like, dude, I'm not really gonna fly off the handle, especially with us being older. It's not a fight in school anymore. It's an assault and battery. You know, you got a wife, I got a wife, you got a wife and kids. You know, you gotta think twice before you whoop somebody's ass. You know, you think of all that stuff. You think of, is that going to affect my job? Is that going to affect me getting my next job if I decide to leave? Will it affect me losing my current job and losing this house that I'm in? You know, you think about all that stuff as a 40-year-old man of things to lose. So that's why I'm kind of like, okay, well, look, don't do it again. Like, you know, but at that age, man, I don't blame Ron Artest one bit for going in them daggone stands, bro. So I separate the malice and the palace when I'm thinking of fans, versus just the on-court idiot that he was, Ron Artest, I'm speaking of doing that to Ben Wallace.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree that, you know, the fan was extra and needed to get his ass whooped. Definitely. I just say that without that foul, none of that happens.
Yeah, I agree with you on
Like
that.
like none of that happens. It's over. I guarantee you, nothing would have got thrown because again, nobody was throwing nothing on the court before, and they pointed out something real well in the doc. Most of the
Okay.
people had left already. They knew the game was
Mm,
over, bro. They knew the shit was over. Everybody
mm.
knew it, man. That's why I put it solely on Ron Artest. He knew the fucking game was over, man. Like it was no need to foul. Like let's get the fuck out of here and go home. It's not a
Mm.
playoff game. We may be 7-2 at the moment. It's over. And that and again, I charge him with more than that. Like yo, you cost that organization a chance to that chip that year by what you
Yeah,
did. He was a
yeah,
big part of that team, man. And I
yeah. It
also,
was.
you know, I feel sorry for Jermaine O'Neal as well because he expressed how bad that really hurt him
Yeah,
and the money that they all lost between him, Steven Jackson, and Ron
won't ever
Artest.
get back.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Won't ever get back. But you know, I feel sorry for Reggie Miller too. I just do.
yeah,
I mean
yeah,
that no, that's one of the legends that I wish would have gotten the chip because man, he deserved it. One of the
yeah,
he was the best shooter. He's still the best shooter of our time that we've
yeah.
ever seen. He's maybe not the best of all time. Now we have Curry. You know what I mean? But the best shooter of our time was Reggie Miller.
I'll tell
Reggie
you
Miller.
what, with that Steph Curry, boy, I was holding on to Reggie Miller for
Me
so
too,
long,
man. Me too.
and
I,
then
I had
Reggie
to let
Miller,
it go. I had to let it
we
go.
did well. You know what? I let it go because he let it go.
I did too. Me too. When he said that Steph was better than him, I said, "All right, you got it. You
All
got
right,
it. You
okay,
got it.
I'm done.
You got it.
I'm
You
done.
got it, man. You got it."
I'm done.
But there were I would never we would never see 9 points scored in like 8 seconds in the Garden ever,
Against the
ever,
Knicks.
ever, ever,
Yeah.
ever, ever,
Yes,
ever
sir.
again. And
Yes, sir.
in that fashion,
Not the way he
ever
did it.
again. Ever again.
Reggie Miller's a dog. Okay.
Man, listen, man. But yeah, man, if y'all haven't seen the doc, please go check out Malice in the Palace. It's a great doc, man. It's on Netflix. Please go watch the whole thing. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep it on docs though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We watched a couple of docs this week, so we can come in here and talk to y'all about these docs. We want to talk about the Hard Knock doc that's on
Yeah.
HBO Max featuring the Dallas Cowboys. It's uncensored, it's unfiltered, it's everything, man. Um, it's two. It might be when I watched it was only 2 episodes up there. I'm pretty sure they're
Yes,
gonna
it's at
add
the
more.
second one. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they'll be adding more. Um, Corey, I gotta say, man, you know, I went into this doc hoping to be able to come in here and just make some jokes on the Dallas fucking Cowboys. Because boy, I can't stand these. I can't stand the
Dude,
Cowboys. I
I'm in
fucking
line
hate the
with you.
Cowboys. I
Can't
hate
do
them.
it. Can't
I
do
hate
it.
them. I can't. I approached the doc with some popcorn, and I was like, yes, this is going to be very funny.
Yeah.
I'm dying to come in here and crack my jokes.
Yeah.
I tell you, man. No, it was nothing funny about this doc. This doc was serious business, and I'm gonna keep it a book. This was my first time ever watching a Hard Knocks.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This was my first time ever watching the Hard Knocks. I normally don't even up until this year. I didn't have HBO. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I didn't have
Okay.
HBO. So yeah, this was my first time watching the Hard Knock doc, and I had seen clips and stuff before, but this one I'm really tuned into all the way in. Man, what an awesome doc so far, man.
Yeah.
I felt mixed emotions during this doc, Corey. Um, you know, I felt I started getting a little choked up, man, when they started when they were doing the specific press on the Kamara guy.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah. I saw that.
this guy I think was from the Ivory Coast.
Yes.
I think they said that they had the Civil War there, or
Mm-hmm.
some kind of war there. You know, of course, many years ago. But his mom, uh, I'm not gonna say she was in the war, but she was affected by the war. He didn't want to
Yeah.
go into much detail about it because he said they don't speak about it.
Yeah.
But he was trying to make it just onto the practice squad,
Yeah.
and it's still yet to be seen if he's gonna make it. But man, just his story just had me just a little choked up, man.
Yeah.
Him coming from, you know, just a country like that, and his
Stuff that
story.
we take for granted over here.
That's really Corey. That's really why I had me choked up because it made me just be grateful for just more than I already am. Because trust me, I don't take stuff for granted, but this made me just reflect a bit on how much people in general take stuff for granted. He came to this country. I don't think he knew how to speak English good.
Yeah.
He said he ran into the football coach, asked him, "Have you ever played football?" He's never played. He told him, "Just line up here and go after quarterback." And from there, he just made he furloughed that into a scholarship to Kansas, I think.
Yeah.
And
And look, it didn't even speak English when he first went to school over. You talking about being a fish out of what? You can't even speak the
oh
damn
my God,
language.
dude, can you imagine? Can you imagine,
No.
Corey? Can you
It's
imagine?
already hard enough when you go to a new school and then you talking about you don't even speak the language?
Man,
Man.
Corey, and just his story. And he said that his family had never gotten to see him play a game.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ever. So during the specific game last week when they faced the Arizona Cardinals, his family
Mm-hmm.
finally got a chance to come
Man.
down and see him play. And they keyed in on the key play where he came in and made a
Yeah.
strip sack
Yes, sir.
on the quarterback, and
It
it
didn't
it,
count.
it, it didn't
Damn
count.
it. Yeah.
It was overturned. And man, he had been trying so hard in practice
Yeah.
because he admits that he's undersized and
Mm-hmm.
for his position, so he has to work so many times as hard, and his gear has to always be on go, and sometimes that works against him. And
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
for him to have made that play and to have it overturned, man, that hurt my heart. Because again, I didn't see the game. I didn't see
Yeah.
the game, so I didn't know what was going to happen when I watched this doc.
Yeah.
So I was so happy that that happened for him. Then they called it back. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm so interested to see what happens with his story. Um, I also, gained some respect, man, for some of the new guys, man. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
that fucking Micah Parsons is
Took
gonna
the
be
words right out of my mouth. I was going to get into
he's
that.
bro,
He's a dog.
he's gonna be a stud, Corey.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Bro,
sir.
let me tell you, man, I don't pay attention to Dallas, because I fucking hate them. I only pay attention
Facts.
to them when they're losing because it is so funny to me as just as a non-fan of them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deny the fact they do have a hell of a defense and a great offensive line.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just not acknowledge that. You know what I mean? I'm not stupid. I know football. Corey, this Michael Parsons fella,
Bro.
if he stays healthy, listen, man, he may be a Hall of Famer before it's all said and done with. But
Man.
you talk about attitude. That guy has the right attitude.
Yes, he does.
He has the right attitude, and I love it, man. He all like they showed a clip of him where it was again one of the I think one of the earlier games, and
Yeah.
just to get a couple of reps. It's one of those games where the starters aren't playing. Everybody just the young
Mm-hmm.
guys, second string and third string, and
Mm-hmm.
he's in there getting his reps, and then he
Yeah,
gets a
like,
call. He gets a call from the
come on,
booth,
come on.
and the coach in the booth is basically asking like what you could have did better, and I like that he said and the thing is before the clip he was sitting down talking to one of the players, and he said, "Man, I got to get wider. I got to get wider. I need to get wider." So when he
Yeah.
got the phone call from him the booth, the coach said, "Man, what you think you can do to get better?" He said, "Man, I got to get wider." The coach said,
Yeah.
"You're right." That's so rare in young guys, man. Bro, he recognized immediately what he needed to do, and then when he already got off the phone with the coach, he was upset with the coach. So the coach told him he won't get no more reps.
Nope, you're done.
You're done. You got
You're
to
done.
sit down. He
And
like,
I'm talking
man,
about he was pissed.
it was Corey. He was pissed off.
Yeah.
Corey, that's the type of attitude that you want on your franchise, man, on your organization. I'm
Yeah.
keeping my eye on this Micah Parsons guy. He looked like he come from a good home. His mom was at the game cheering him on. That got me
Yeah.
a little emotional too, man. Just being a former player, from rec ball or whatever. You know how it is when you got your peoples in the stands and they rooting for
Yeah.
you, whether you're doing good or bad.
Yeah.
And then when you get older, you just want to make your parents happy. You just want to do something that
Yeah.
makes them happy, man. And you want them to cheer you on and just see all the hard work that you've been doing that they don't understand. It's finally come to fruition. And I felt that with Michael Parsons, man.
Yeah.
I felt that, man. I gained so much more respect for Dak Prescott, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a fighter. He admitted that I think he had two surgeries and one of them that we didn't even know about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Like
I mean, and just to see the
tough
resurgence
guys,
of
man.
him, man.
Absolutely.
Oh my! Like I wish Dak nothing but the best this season, man. I really hope that I hope that the Dallas organization isn't successful, but I hope that he is successful. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And
Yeah, let's keep that trill.
and I really didn't know that him and Zeke were as tight as they were. I didn't know.
I didn't either.
I didn't know, bro.
That I
They said they
didn't
were
know.
best friends. I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know, man. This doc, man, I'm loving it. I'm loving how, man. Let me tell you too, man. We got to put some respect on Mike McCarthy's name. We
Yeah.
have to. But man, I've never seen McCarthy in this light up until this doc.
Yeah.
Corey, I didn't know that he was as hard as a coach as he is. You see him on the sideline; he's like a little jolly guy. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Kind of like a Bruce Arians type
You
of
know,
guy.
they
You
got
know
the
what I
paper over their
mean?
mouth, so you really
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
really see or hear him.
how
You
it
kind
go.
of,
He kind of,
yeah,
and he's been
yeah,
that way since Green Bay.
yeah,
Like he doesn't look like the fired up guy that he was in this doc, man. And I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. I love the fire that he's bringing into the Dallas Cowboy organization, man. And I hope it pays off for him too. How did you feel about the doc, man?
man. Well, I've been watching Hard Knocks since they came out.
Okay.
Maybe like 10, 15 years ago now,
Right,
give or take.
right.
And I think this is the third time that the Cowboys been up there.
Oh, word. Okay. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so this is
Okay.
like the third time. And each and every time, it's typically a deal to whereas that first episode, it kind of reels you in and you can kind of tell that the players know that the cameras are there. So sometimes, and this goes for coaches too, whether they're kind of putting on a little bit. The second episodes is normally about the same, but it kind of tails off a little bit more because they done had that first preseason game. And so they're going into that. And then the third one, it's like the players that you're going to get more realness. I think they normally have like 5 episodes, maybe 5 or 6. You're going to start to see more of the realness in the third episode, historically speaking, with that. And a lot of players and coaches don't like for their teams to be up here. Oh, but not the Cowboys, not America's team. Oh, they love it. My 49ers have yet to be up there. And normally I'm kind of okay with that because normally a Hard Knocks is a death trap from a season coming up where it's like, oh, they don't even make the playoffs and stuff like that. But I don't care. I want to see some behind the scenes on 49ers, damn it. But I get it. This ain't about the 49ers. I get it. It's about the Cowboys. So my deal is this, pretty much mirror what you say, where I had no idea. What I like about it real quick is that they do bring you on the inside, which is why coaches and players sometimes don't like it. I had no idea of how tight that Zeke and Dak Prescott. I had no earthly idea. Like I just didn't know. My opinion, I thought Dak was putting on a little bit where, it's like, okay, well, cool, we're gonna pull you out right there. Like, come on, I want to play. And it's like, okay, yeah, you're supposed to say that. He's a company's man. Like he says, he's the guy that you would want to date your daughter because he says everything right. He knows how to speak when he's at the podium, like he all that stuff. Like he's that guy. So it's like, of course, you want to get put in, but Dak, you can't rush out there too soon. And you could argue that, well, you got to get his feet wet. And my whole train of thought is like, well, Cowboys, if you mess around and throw Dak Prescott in there, the season is, and he gets injured, the season is definitely over. At least if you throw him in there during week 1, it's like, okay, well, you had to play him, and I get it. You may want to give him a series or 2, but ask Tony Romo how that worked. He got injured during the preseason a few years ago, i.e. entered Dak Prescott. So only thing was, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Tony Romo had like a serious injury he was coming off of. So there's enough Cowboys fans watching. Y'all can correct me on that in the comments. But I'm with you. When I saw Micah Parsons, man, I'm just like, yo, this mother father right here, as Cat Williams would say, has the potential to be one of the best linebackers if he keeps up with this attitude and stay healthy. That guy's a dog, man. Like I'm talking about this guy. If and I get it, I ain't jumping the gun, Lord knows. But man, I'm telling you, man, he could be up there in the linebacker category. Put on some weight, man. I'm telling you, he could mess around and go to the Hall of Fame. He could be, mentioned man, with the likes of your Ray Lewis's and stuff like that. He's that good, and he is so fast.
Bro, I was just going to say the speed of that guy.
So fast,
dude. The speed.
Yeah. And I'm with you. The thing of, as I consider myself a veteran of watching these Hard Knocks, man, you're gonna, in episode 3, this is where, if you thought this last episode that came on last night was the tearjerker with the family and all that stuff, wait to cut day when it's going to start on week 3.
Oh my God.
Dog. Now that never gets easy to see. What they used to do, and they haven't done it, they're choosing not to do it now. So it's going to be interesting how they do it this year. In the past, they would show the cuts week by week. So I'm talking about after the first preseason game, cool. You're going to get the first half of the episode where it's like, okay, prep, training, yada, 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 which you need to work on. I'll say about the last 20 to 15 minutes is going to be like, yo, the Grim Reaper coming in. Hey, yeah, we need you to come down and bring your playbook. Yeah, well, look, man, we had to, we're putting you on waivers today because of, A, B, and C. And sometimes the players, they're taking like a G. Sometimes other players, they'll start crying because it was basically their only shot. And then other players be like, well, cool, I'll get put up by another. You're going to see a whole lot of that. And that stuff never gets easy to watch. So they used to do it at the end of every single episode called a cut segment. Now I think what they do is they kind of wait until later to do it. And I think with it only being 3, the reason why I say I don't know how they're going to do it this go round is because it's only 3 preseason games instead of 4, minus the Hall of Fame game that Dallas and Pittsburgh played in. So I don't know how they're going to do the cuts, but the cuts are going to be coming. It may not be every single episode, but man, that is tough to watch, man, because you seen it's a numbers game. It's also that you didn't make the play. And I get it. A lot of people really don't rock with preseason football. I'm not going to say I love preseason football, but I do like to keep up with it only because my hunger for football is like, okay, I could deal with a month of preseason if I know that September is right around the damn corner. I will watch it. I watch it. I typically, under normal circumstances, I watch the 49ers and I watch the Panthers. I always kind of see how those guys shake out. But man, like even today, like I watched the Jordan Love game. Who looked freaking phenomenal. I watched the Chicago games with Justin Fields. I watched the Jets game with my man Zach. I can't remember his last name. But anyway, I watch all these guys, and sometimes I even watch like to see like where some of the backups that guys who you haven't seen play and where they are now. So and then you add in the hard knocks element. All of that stuff kind of ties in together. And I tell you what, man, it's going to be tough to watch. It's still going to be fun, but man, you're going to feel so bad for those players who get cut because we don't think the preseason, we collectively as fans and stuff like that are kind of like, yeah, well, the preseason is not important. Ask that to them players that's trying to make that 53-man roster, how important every single snap is, man. And the thing about it, Big V, is that you don't get that many chances as a guy who's trying to make a team, because obviously you got your people who are going to be solidified. Like Dak, of course, is going to make the team. CeeDee Lamb, of course, is going to make the team. Zeke the Freak, he's going to make the team. Micah Parsons, these first round, second round, these guys, yeah, you're on the team. You don't really have to worry about it, but you got like, I think it's like 90 players or 90 or 95, and they got to get trimmed down to 53. And it's like each week it may have to go from like 95 to like 90, something small, not a big deal. But then that second cut is typically from like 90 to like 70, right? And then it's like that going from 70 to 50 or 60 or something like that. And then whatever the 60 to 50, it gets tough, man. And so it's kind of like, you these players is trying to make the team. It's like, yeah, of course you want your ones to go. You got to look at it like this too, Big V. With there only being 3 preseason games as opposed to 4, these guys that are on the bubble of making the team, that's one less game they have to prove. Because typically how it works is during normally the 4 preseason, you typically have your first game where your ones that may play like a series and they're done and they're back out. And then the same deal with the second game. But then the third game, a lot of times your starters, they play almost into the half, if not going a little bit past in the third quarter. Right? Well, so now that
it's
and then the fourth game, whoever is trying to make the team, you're pretty much going to play. You don't have it anymore. This is going to be the second week of preseason. So you could argue, and it's going to be interesting, but I'm almost certain, Big V, that this is going to be the dress rehearsal for a lot of the starters and people who are going to be solidified on the team. So you're going to have your ones probably playing up to halftime, depending on how it go. And then you're probably going to have your 2s playing well into the third, if not going to the top of the fourth quarter. And then your 3s and your 4s or whatever will come in. So that's going to be the second preseason game. The third one is pretty much is going to be those bubble guys. That's one less game you got to prove yourself and worry about trying to avoid the Grim Reaper. Like stuff get real, bro. And it's kind of tough to watch because you're talking about, and real quick, and I'm gonna go, this isn't like, this is a dream for a lot of these guys, right? And to me personally, I would argue that now that you got 17 games, they need to expand the roster to at least 60 or 63, or something like that. Just because it's so many games and so contact, but that's a whole nother topic for another day. You're talking about these dreams, and they have shown reruns. The NFL Network definitely does it, where around this time they'll show like old hard knock seasons. And sometimes I'll Google the guys up that get cut, and it's like nothing. Free agents, and they're done. They didn't even get picked up. So that's the part, realizing that a childhood dream. You talking about you been preparing for this since you was, God knows, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, Big V. And then it's like, yo, you're done. That's it. You're done. Like, it's over. It's a wrap. It's over. That's tough, bro.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm watching this doc, just thinking about all of that. Like, I was thinking about all of that with this Kamara guy. Like, man, like,
Injuries can keep you off from making it. That's exactly right.
Like, you know,
He can legitimately not make the team because he's hurt.
yeah, yeah, man.
No
And,
fault of his own.
and again, it's tough when, again, like you said, you've put your whole life into this, and you know, a lot of people really don't grasp or feel it until you watch one of these hard knocks, man. I gotta
Yeah.
say it, like you feel it because you like, man, this guy, you watching from home, got some potential. He,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just you know, what I mean, he just needs somebody to work with him. He just need the team that fit his scheme or whatever.
Yeah.
But some of these players never get a chance.
Never get it. Like you lucky if you make the practice squad in some of these cases, and even in that, you ain't guaranteed to stay up there. I think the
No,
practice squad will have like 12 to 16 people at best.
yeah, and that man, and that's tough. Like, man,
Stay in freaking purgatory forever in the practice squad.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's
and
the same difference.
it's some people that make their entire livings off the practice squad, man. You
Yeah.
know, and are happy about that because you are part of that organization,
Mm-hmm.
and you are lucky to be a part of that organization. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You are lucky to be a part of that organization. You are.
I had a friend of mine. He knew somebody who was on the practice squad for the Panthers. Man, he was like, "Yo," it was like, "I really want to make the roster," but he's finally, just kind of came to grips. Like, "Hey, I'm cool being a practice squad guy. Like, if y'all want to pay me a couple of $100,000 a year to quote unquote stay ready, and I'll just keep staying ready." Now they don't have to travel. They don't have to do any of that. But again, that's not what you aspire to be at the age of 8.
No.
I've been wanting to mess with computers ever since I was about 7 or 8 years old. And I couldn't imagine graduating from college and then to have someone tell me the only computer place in town, let's just say hypothetically, there's only one IT place you could go to, i.e. the NFL. And they're like, yeah, nah, you're good, but you're
We
not
don't want you.
great. You got
Yeah.
to go. You got to go. Maybe
What
somebody else can pick you up.
what days does that hard knock air?
It airs, the original airs on Tuesday nights at 10 o'clock.
Okay, so
But it should show on HBO Max too. I don't know if they do theirs early or later or simultaneously. I know sometimes like these apps they'll have their episodes on like
yeah.
earlier.
Okay.
But it airs on HBO at 10 o'clock on Tuesday nights historically.
So I'm guessing this third one was the one that just came out yesterday because today
This
is
is
Wednesday.
this is the second. This is the second one, so you're caught up.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
caught up. The,
So
the third one is
will
going to
be
be
next
next
week.
week.
Okay,
Yes,
got it.
sir.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Okay.
you're caught up. You saw everything that I saw.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to tap in, man, go to HBO Max. You know what I mean? Watch
Yeah,
Hard Knocks on
good stuff.
HBO Max on Tuesday. You can catch the first 2 episodes right now. Depending on when you listen to this, you may catch more. It is phenomenal, man, for all my NFL people out
Yeah,
there.
it makes you root for these teams, even though I never root for the Cowboys. But it
It
does make you
does.
get invested,
Mhm.
like you said, in the players and as a team. With some of these guys, you just want to do well. As long as you ain't doing it against my team, I don't really care. But it does make you like, oh man, like you almost come an unofficial fan of it. But not the Cowboys, but other teams,
Yeah,
not the Cowboys.
I agree,
Even though
man.
they've been up there three times already, and the damn Niners and Panthers ain't been up there not even once.
I, I don't know if the coach. I'm pretty sure has the coach been on there. I haven't seen it. So
No, they have not.
okay.
I can run through a list of teams, but all I know is that them damn Cowboys,
And
Lord,
look,
have some type of mercy.
this would have been a great year for the Colts to have been on, man. It would have been a great year, man. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I mean, it's just let's see here, the hard, and I'm gonna do this real quick. I know we gotta wrap up. Let's see, Hard Knocks. Let's see. Yeah, so this been on since 2001.
wow.
So, and I'm gonna listen in order from year starting in 2001. The Baltimore
Okay.
Ravens. Let's see. Yeah, the Baltimore Ravens, the Dallas Cowboys. And I guess for whatever reason they took a break from 2002 to 2007. Okay, whatever. The Kansas City Chiefs, the Dallas Cowboys, Cincinnati Bengals, the Jets. Let's see, the Dolphins, Cincinnati, the Falcons, the Texans, the Rams, the Bucks, Cleveland Browns, the Raiders. Last year was simultaneous with the Los Angeles Rams and the LA Chargers, and then this year you got the Cowboys.
No Patriots.
No Patriots. Mm-mm. No,
Hey,
dude,
Bill Belichick ain't having that bullshit.
I can't remember. This is mandated by the NFL, I think, and I would have to look up the qualifications for it. You had. I think the only way you could get out is like if you made the playoffs the previous year, And I think if you have not been up there before, and I think it's something like if there's no takers, then the NFL will get to randomly pick, or either HBO they get to pick, but there's qualifiers for it, or whatnot. But I do think I think if you haven't made the playoffs next amount of time, like, oh no, you're going up there. Like they'll let you off if you made the playoffs the previous year. But yeah, we can get into that later. But there are qualifiers of you being no, you going. It ain't really a Bill Belichick thing. It's just that Bill Belichick historically have made the playoffs a lot of times. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. Ladies and gentlemen, man, that's our show for the day, man. Make sure y'all tapping in on YouTube and on SoundCloud on the Skyzone.Society network on both of them. Make sure y'all hit that, man. For my people that be at work and want to tap into some sports talk, we got y'all covered. Just come over to SoundCloud and look up Skyzone.Society. We got you covered. You know what I mean?
Come on through.
YouTube, you already know what it is. You know what I mean? The Skyzone.Society network. We got y'all each and every week. We on episode 20. You know what I mean?
Getting it.
We going for the gusto, you know what I mean? That's what we do, you know what I mean?
Get it, big dog.
You know what I mean? With this NFL season coming up, you can expect more and more and more. You know what I mean? You know how we do, man. You know what I mean?
We got you.
You know what I mean? Again, make sure y'all shopping at SkyZoneSociety.BigCartel.com. You know what I mean? For all your Skies on Society gear. Go out there and get that. You know what I mean? Corey,
Word.
You be safe out here, man. COVID
Peace,
season
my brother.
is still getting crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, be safe, bro. I'm being
You too,
safe.
bro.
These kids about to start school on Monday.
Oh,
so
word.
I'll be back. You know what I mean? And daddy / you know what I mean?
Respect.
Teacher mode, because I'm homeschooling the kids again this year. This will be my son's first year in kindergarten. So,
word.
Yeah, my daughter being in second grade this year. So yeah, man.
Respect.
Yeah, man. I'm keeping the kids at home this year, man, till they get a vaccine for these.
I feel you. Smart man.
Got to.
Smart man.
You and the wife be safe, bro. You know what I mean?
All right, man. I'm ready to holler at Tim Tebow. So I'm gonna call him back, and we should be good, man. You and the family and the kids stay safe. I'm gonna holler at Tim. I'm gonna tell his people to stay safe. Keep your guards up. We riding with him from the west side. I don't know what the west side is for, but from the west side, we riding. Keep your guards up, big dog. We got you, Big Tim. We got you.
I'm out of here, man. Peace.
All right.
Bro.